We're chatting this afternoon with Shamrock Rovers player Rory Gaffney. Rory, how are we getting on?
Good now, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Yeah, no, I'm good. You must have been excited when you got the news, say, probably maybe just over a week ago, that Shamrock Rovers would be, going back forward, maybe a little ahead of everyone back into training and this top four competition that's coming down the line at some stage over the summer.
Yeah, it's great, really, because I suppose we're off now, I suppose, just over 2 months, and it was there was no, I suppose, end goal in sight. We didn't know when we were going to be back, so it'll be a great start if we're just allowed to get back training in the next couple of weeks.
And you had to be tested during the week. I think everyone around the players and the officials at Rovers were tested just ahead of the resumption of training.
Yeah, all the players and staff, and I suppose of all the 4 teams that are involved in this upcoming tournament, we were tested on Monday, and we're going to get tested again for the next couple of Mondays. Thankfully, everyone, no one got any bad news, anyways.
And how have you found the training in isolation? I have to admit, somebody at the club did tell me you didn't have a football where you were living, and you weren't able to. They were surprised at just how many footballers didn't have a football in their house. But you're out west at the minute.
Yeah, no football, but I've got one now, thankfully. No, it was just like a normal off season. Except you can't really go to the gym to do your training. So we've been doing, the last couple of weeks, we've been doing these home workouts on Zoom together. So we've been doing them 2-3 times a week minimum, and then I suppose doing our own fitness work on top of that. So it hasn't been too bad, and it's just a great way to break up the day. And
have you been watching any of the Bundesliga on television, these matches behind closed doors, which you might be playing in the next while? Because if football is back, it looks like it's going to be coming back behind closed doors for the time being anyway.
Yeah, I haven't sat down to watch any of the games for 90 minutes. I've just had a quick look at the highlights. Talking to a few people, said it's a bit strange with the games behind closed doors, but we're looking forward to watching the Premiership when they kick back in about 3 weeks.
And what's the situation with your fitness? Because actually you signed late for Shamrock Rovers in terms of the summer season, but you'd been playing and training in the UK. Like, how did you find kind of coming in at that kind of late stage when the season was just about to kind of start?
Yeah, probably needed a couple of weeks training really to get up to speed and to get used to how Shamrock Rovers play and what's expected of us, and especially how the gaffer wants the strikers to play. So it was different to what I had experienced at previous clubs, but I think my general fitness was fine. It was good, but I just needed, I suppose, match fitness and just maybe get sharp again. And now I suppose everyone's going to be on the same page when we go back. We'll have had a small break and we'll have, I suppose, a mini pre-season again.
And that experience at other clubs, so you would have played in the league with Merview and Limerick and then went over to the UK and had some success getting promotion with Bristol and Salford. Like, what was that experience of being part of a team that were successful and moving up within the leagues in England?
Yeah, the Bristol Rovers year was great. They the year before I was there, they'd been promoted out of the conference, and it was basically the same squad that did back-to-back promotions, and we did it on the last day of the season. In the last minute, a left back popped up and scored the winner in like the 94th minute. So it was great to be a part of that. To be honest, it was great. And then I suppose Salford was a bit different. We were heavy favourites from the start, and we were the team to beat, and I suppose the team to watch out for. So there was a different kind of, I suppose, pressure playing for Salford than Bristol Rovers.
And people are very much aware of the high-profile owners at Salford. So did you see much of the Nevilles and Nicky Butt and Ryan Giggs around the place, or how was that?
No. They kept themselves. I doubt they'd want to be, I suppose, interfering, I suppose, with how the football goes and what the manager there was trying to do. I'm sure they were very respectful of him, and they wouldn't be interfering. But you might see them around the odd time, but it'd just be a quick hello and that'd be it.
And your time there, I think you were kind of limited in terms of game time, so you were maybe looking to come back, and you come back into Shamrock Rovers, but the season's been disrupted. But it was what a debut you got. You came off the bench the night Rovers played Dundalk. The Hoops were, I think it was 2-1 down at the time when you came on. It was pretty much a full house in Tala. We've only played 5 games so far in the season across the league, so from a Shamrock Rovers point of view, that was obviously the high point of the season so far. But what was the experience like for you that night, making your debut for Shamrock Rovers in that game?
I think overall it was a brilliant night. It was a brilliant night for the league, so it was a brilliant night for the club, and it was the reason that I wanted to come back to Ireland to play for Shamrock Rovers. I wouldn't have come home at that time, if I wasn't, wanted to sign for this club. I knew I suppose I've been watching what's been going on the last couple of years, and I've seen, I suppose, where the club is going on the pitch, and I thought it's just a great opportunity to get involved.
And you made quite a contribution, and I think people were really impressed that you were able to come on and make a difference. Particularly, Rovers were chasing the game at that time.
Yeah, it was just it was a great game to play, and I suppose it was good to play against Dundalk as well. They were they were 2-1 up, but they were still going for it. They were still pushing bodies forward, trying to get another goal, and I suppose that made it easier as a striker, I suppose, to get on the ball a bit when we won it back. So it was just a good game to play in. Didn't play too many of those games in England that would be end to end and two teams really trying to play football the right way.
And then the following week, you made your first start for Rovers down in Sligo. It was a good 3-2 win, which turns out to be the last game that Rovers have played in the last couple of months. But what was that experience? With that win, I think was Rovers' record down in Sligo has not been great. You might necessarily been aware of that. So I think it was a particularly important 3 points before kind of everything shut down.
Yeah, no, that point had been made earlier in the week that the lads had dropped points against Sligo last season, and probably it would really cost them towards the end of the season. But yeah, no, that point was made throughout the week that the league is won in places like Sligo away, and whereas the games against like the Dundalk and Bulls kind of take care of themselves, because I suppose there's a right buzz about them, or they're kind of they could be on telly. A lot of the Bulls and Shamrock Rovers games would be on telly, and I would have watched them in the last couple of years. But Sligo was a tough game. It was difficult conditions that night, very windy. Pitch was a bit soft, and Sligo were well up for it. But we got the 3 points.
And there's always a conversation when talking to players who've maybe played in the UK and a kind of comparison with the standard of play. But maybe in terms of the setup at Rovers, which you have at Roadstone, compared with maybe your experience of playing in the UK in terms of training facilities and food and that type of arrangement. How does Rovers benchmark with what your experience was in the UK?
To be fair, the last club I was at, Walsall, they had a lovely setup. Apart from maybe the training pitches just got flooded when the weather kind of, I suppose, turned in November, December. But yeah, no, the setup at Rovers is very good. You go in the morning, obviously we have a couple of training pitches. You have the AstroTurf, so when the weather's not good, you get your food after training, and the gym is 2 minutes down the road. So yeah, no, can't complain, honestly. It's great. And
when football does come back, you actually have an opportunity to win a bit of silverware. This kind of top four competition, it's been, I think maybe 2001, 2002 was the last time there was something like that. So I'm sure you're just looking forward to going back playing football, but there will be a competitive edge with Europe coming down the horizon, which is why the reasons that the top four teams are playing in this competition.
Yeah, and that was another reason too why I wanted to come home to have a crack at the Europe games. I haven't played obviously in any Europa League qualifiers or anything, and so Shamrock Rovers, I followed their European run a couple of years ago when they got to the Europa League by watching all the games on telly. So it'd be great to be a part of a good European run, and it'd be a great experience.
Great. Listen, Rory, I really appreciate your time. Thanks very much for chatting to us this afternoon.
Okay, thanks, William.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, Rory. Nice one.
Sounds to you.